Where I get it from, because at the age of 16, no, I was still in school. I was maybe younger. I was helping my aunt. She was a live-in maid at Perkinswood, and her off days was Wednesdays, and I went on Wednesday after school to help her.
Who was that? What was her name?
She was married to my uncle.
Okay.
His name, my uncle, Doc Mallory. We call him Doc.
And so she lived at this
she
house?
She lived
Do you
at
remember
the
the name of the family?
Konoskis, I think that's who they were. I remember they was a rich family. And then on Saturdays I would go out there and help her, and it was just like, oh, wow, they're rich, you know. They had 2 sons, and I never forget, they were younger than me, but they were so disrespectful to their parents, rich and disrespectful. And
Your auntie would keep them in line?
Well, little. I think they were just spoiled.
Okay.
I remember them being spoiled, and
so did that give you the desire to want to succeed even more so, being in an environment with these rich people?
yes, I always wanted to go to college. I don't know. I had in my mind I wanted to be a airline stewardess, and they said, well, you know, you have to be a certain height, and I was so tall. I said, oh, that was kind of out. But luckily, when I graduated, I did. I tried to get a job. I could not get a job.
This is with the airlines?
No, I know, with just a job. After I graduated, I could not get a job. The girls that graduated with me, they either worked downtown in the banks. We had a store down there called Kresge's. It was a 5 and dime store. They worked in there. And I mean, they wouldn't hire no blacks. And so I remember thinking, I got to do something because I want to work. But I ended up, in the meantime, I went to the bean field picking beans, 25 cents a basket. It was a place I like toward Newton Falls, going out that way. It was a farm, and I did that, and then finally I got on it. I got on. There was on Niles Avenue. There was a chicken market. I ended up getting out, working out there.
Describe that experience, because I remember the chicken market.
It was
and
cold.
I remember it was not a good place to work. If I recall,
it was not. It was not. It was cold because they had to keep it that temperature for the chickens. You know, wet. You know, the floor, you had to work in rubber boots, really. But I worked there probably a year, and finally I got called. I had put an application in at St. Joe's Hospital over there on Todd Avenue. I got hired there as a nurse's aide. And in the meantime, I just want everybody at Packard. I want to get on at Packard, you know, because they said that's where the money is. So every time they would take an application, I would go put my application in, and they kept saying, well, you don't have to keep putting it in because they have it and it's there. And I said, no. So I didn't take a chance, but I didn't get called. And finally, a friend of mine told me to go see Mr. Small. He was a councilman or something. He was in politics, and I did.
I believe he might have been the head of the Urban League.
Boy, maybe so. Okay. Matter of fact, it was Irma Edmonson. She told me, because she had just got hired, and so he helped me get in at Packard, and I'm thinking, this is terrible that you got to have somebody to help you get a job back then. But the blacks, you know, and I remember going to Ohio Lamp, and they said, we don't hire left-handed people. I couldn't believe it. So I just didn't think, that was fair, but they didn't. And then somebody told me Ohio Lamp only hired really light-skinned people back in those days. So I don't know if that's true or not, but they didn't hire me. I wasn't that light, And so
you finally got
on at Packard.
And so do you remember what year you started there?
1965.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And when I got to Packard, on your hand, you probably could count the blacks that worked there.
Wow.
Yes. Especially men. There was a few Sadie Parks. I know Mr. Joe Bryant. and there wasn't that many blacks at all.